pretzels.
Dude, I was listening back to, I told you I was watching the beginning of Spider Powers for Christmas. And my accent,
which is a animated Flash movie that you did.
An animated Flash movie, a thing that I did. But I was watching it and I turned it off because my accent is insane.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just asked for something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, did I really? And I know I didn't think it was an accent. I know I didn't think it sounded weird.
I wonder if other people think it sounds as bad as we think it does.
They do. Because when I got to well, not necessarily as bad, but people notice it big time.
Yeah, but if they notice it, but like every time I hear it, I just associate it with like small time idiots from our area who will never do anything and their lives are over and they'll never have a career. And I'm like, I can't speak like that. I can't sound like that.
It's that beautiful self-hate. You know, we all think that we're so new and shiny because we moved out to the big city, but we're not. We're just a bunch of fucking...
Trying so desperately to erase your past.
Yeah, that's true.
Jesus.
Yeah, my name's Sky. Sky...
Land.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I had to make an active decision when I got to New York to stop speaking that way because everybody. It wasn't so much that people thought they were like, "Ew, is there any voice?" They were like, "You got a little."
Exactly.
Where are you from? Oh, Jersey. Oh, Jersey.
Yeah. I often have people screech Jew at me.
Especially in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you just sound uneducated. And even I still do it on the podcast. I hear it all the time. Oh, I still do it on the podcast. Or when I never say for. The word for is not in my vocabulary. Fur. Even when I text, I say F-E-R. I'm like, what the fuck is
Jesus.
that?
Oh, no.
What are you doing?
I just ran into that with a woman on Tinder where like she seemed cool. She wanted to take me to Vegas for the weekend, which is like a cool offer.
Oh, that's cool. Totally normal. Normal person you just met wants to take you to Vegas for the weekend.
I'm not going to say no to that, okay?
Yeah.
But I will say no
what
to
an opportunity.
Let me tell you something. It's not the weekend. It's forever. Just take you to Vegas forever because you'll never go anywhere after
Nick, have you ever wanted to die in Vegas? But she spelled the word fur with an E 3 times in a row in one paragraph, and I was like, I gotta go. I can't talk to you. I don't know what.
Yo, your first tip-off should have been paragraphs. Who texts in paragraphs? No, fucking psychos do.
She Tindered in paragraphs. She was telling me about the...
That's even worse.
It was bad. It was quite bad.
That's crazy. Did you go to Vegas?
No.
She had like UFC tickets or something.
Fight 213 or 27, whatever the one was.
Who cares?
She told me that this is the best part. She said, yeah, we're going to see the fight and then you can meet my other family. And I was like,
what the fuck does that mean?
100%.
Oh.
There's no way it's not.
That's scary,
So
man.
yeah, I didn't go to that.
You should have done it. You should have done it in with a notebook, just to be go in like a writer infiltrating, and then die.
Sure.
So the notebook is just buried with me.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I like any fantasy of gonzo journalism is just gone because I'm like, oh, I will die. I have no tact.
Yeah, people kill you for that kind of
Just
stuff.
for fun.
Yeah,
Just for whatever.
Unless you got to be like fucking Sean Penn or something. You have to be somebody people because he did that thing with El Chapo, and the only
You
reason
gotta just look threatening. Well, he's also Sean Penn.
Yeah,
He's
people
just
would
like, I
notice.
love you. I love Rain Man. It's like, sure, whatever. Tell me about your drug operations. Sure, Rain Man. Yes. No, he'll remember it all. Don't tell him. I don't know why they're Middle East.
yeah, El Chapo. He's been hiding out in Iran.
Yeah. He's really taken to the local speech.
Where the fuck did that train of thought start? Oh, because our stupid voices.
Yeah, dumb voices.
Yeah,
With El Chapo.
I try not to. It had to be an active thing. It had to, and then I feel like for the most part I've gotten away from it, but I'll catch it every so often. But the big ones are gone, like laugh. That's gone.
Oh, I used to make fun of you guys.
I still say laugh.
Off of Skype.
I finally say Mario. After
Mario.
long last, I stopped saying Mario.
Mario Party.
It's Mario Party, yes.
Oh no,
The Mario Brothers and Luigi.
I never said
Luigi.
Luigi.
Hey, speaking of stupid voices, we saw a movie that has no voice at all. Doesn't really want to tell you anything. But first, welcome to Reasonable Beef. Help.
That's scary. If they can't see your face, that sounds scary though.
It's all good. It's gonna get cut. This whole bit, and then the theme song will play, and then this happens. My name is Tim E. Kish. I'm joined today by Whomst.
Domst.
And what else?
Next.
Nick's here. It's another Nick episode. We're here.
You sound
We're hanging out.
disappointed.
Sorry, guys.
He's just my special guy. You know, I like to bring him in.
Come on. You're going deeper.
You make it sound like it's my
What
Make-A-Wish.
you guys don't know is that there's 2 mics and there's one on my shoulder, and he's just perched there. That's where he is.
I get to be unreasonable beef again.
We make this joke every time we bring someone who's been on it a bunch of times. We did it with Tim H too, where we made a joke that he just is hung on
we
the
have him on
wall,
the- yeah.
and we just take him down for the episodes
Bring
where we
him
need
down.
him.
It's like I didn't book anybody to this week. Shit.
Dust off the Tim H.
But yeah, we saw Valerian. Valerian. 2017, Luc Besson, starring Dane Hain and Cara,
La 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 la.
the 2 Towers.
Lopez. What the fuck are you talking about?
There's some
That's her name.
insane. That's some incredible free association. that I can't
Cara,
even follow.
the 2 Towers, Lopez.
Lopez. Where'd the Lopez come
I don't
from?
know, man. It's just like a fucking
I
street
don't
name.
understand what you're even. I'm gonna try and start positive, despite it all.
Oh, look good.
Yeah, there are some things that look good.
And I will say, what I
movie.
said when we left the theater is that this visually did what Avatar wanted to do, where it's kind of build these aliens,
Sure.
and it doesn't go far enough. I'm not going to give it the credit where it
Yeah.
says like this is an amazing, awesome alien world that's totally foreign, but they tried some more interesting shit than Avatar. Instead of like it's a rhino, but it's pink.
Yeah.
Now it's there's some like it opens with this fucking very strange like ocean tribe of people harvesting
Yeah.
pearls, and it's like what the fuck is this? We haven't really seen.
Yeah,
this.
that was cool. That was
Yeah.
cool. And then, but
She
it's
washed her face with pearls.
The door
Yeah.
is wide open to it being like mind-bendingly neat. And then it was sort of similar to in Doctor Strange, where it's like, okay, you have the power to change reality itself and slip into any dimension. Mm-hmm. So can I like run up a wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if
Exactly.
you want
What
to.
if I
if
made
that's-
the city fold?
I guess if that's what you wanted to do, sure. What about sparks? Sparks for my fingers? Can I do sparks? I mean, yeah, dude, but yeah. So I like
Every dimension, every single one.
I just like that was kind of how I felt too about the alien stuff, where it's like it opened with a cool beach world, and I'm like, neat. And I liked how too though it was to make it sci-fi. It was so it's a beach. They all look a little weird, but make sure that you can see planets and stars in the sky, because
Yeah.
that's how you know it's
Right.
like an alien planet when there's other planets visible.
Absolutely. Yep.
Way too close.
Even that planet-
scarily gravitationally close.
crashing into the planet.
Like, oh wow, that's great. And it just from there, it never like blew it wide open for me. You know, like there, and it sort of just it just takes you through the races of aliens. It's like these are the robot aliens who work on robot parts.
Yeah.
And these are the gooey aliens, and they live
Oh,
in
this is
the
the clink-clons. They
Here they're in the
clonkle
goo.
and they do their clanking all
No, but
day
even,
long.
but even that, like, there's not like clunkle and clanking. It's like robot ones, fixed circuits, the underwater, the fish.
yeah,
he's
they
a
collect
fish.
little
He's a-
fish-looking
Yeah, he's a big
orbs,
fish.
egg-looking orbs.
But guess what? There's also jellyfish. So,
But you weren't expecting
and it's
that.
like, yeah,
but it's real big.
It's
and
a
it's
big
attached
jelly.
to a bigger
and
thing.
I sound like a brat who's been given a wonderful gift, and I'm like a poo poo. But there's something about this movie that offended me because it's like this movie got so much money. Like they put so much money into this thing that there's almost it gets to a point with me where there's no excuse anymore about like. Well, then why wasn't the story good? Because all these visual things would have been a delicious little whipped cream
Now let me
on top.
clarify. Are you talking about like the visual, what we're seeing, or how we're seeing it? Like, because I think the way it was done looked good. Like, I mean, the colors are beautiful and it pops. But what I'm
Yeah.
at, my issue is what well, you said last night. Like, there's nothing in this movie that you couldn't find on DeviantArt, and that's true.
Yeah.
It's real.
There's something about that when you're talking about this visually breathtaking, amazing thing, and you're not showing me visuals that are that unique and amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all like kind of passe and been done.
And not to,
it's
and I don't-
not Fantasia.
Not to just jump on a Marvel suckfest again,
Mm-hmm.
but even just in this last Thor trailer, and because this happens few and far between. Like I wouldn't say Spider-Man had visuals that blew my mind. Like
Right, pretty much everything we've seen it all.
Yeah,
We've
you've
that
seen it, and
before.
even with monsters, I will give it a pass because it sounds like what are we asking for really?
Mm-hmm.
Like show me a being that exists in a physical way that I literally can't fathom. Is that
Right.
what I'm asking, or like do you know what I mean?
I get more or less it is, but isn't that like a job of a creative person and an artist
I think it's
to make
about,
a thing?
It's about mixing parts you haven't seen mixed before and making the biology work in an interesting way. But
Right.
beyond that, like even just in that Thor trailer, the weird wherever they are, where it's doing like the lights are spinning around them with Hela and like Valkyrie are coming out of the sky or whatever it is. That looks like you're looking at that and I'm like, I've never seen that before.
Right.
And it looks like Thor is doing this thing where they're like, you know what, all of our concept art, it's making it in. And we're gonna
we're reaching that point.
not only is it making it in, but we're gonna slow everything down so that you understand that this was at one point a painting.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's cool to me. Like, I like that. Whatever, Valerian.
Valkyrie in specific, no, I mean, that's a good line of talk to go down, because when you hang your hat on visuals, they need to everything needs to blow me away. Not only does it need to look good, like be high fidelity and good, but it needs to pull me in and then make me enjoy and like fucking appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Valerian, I guess about an hour and a half in, I'm just like, I don't care anymore. I don't get, like, yes, this all looks good. Thank you. But it's so numbing at a certain point.
I maybe got an hour.
Exactly.
Until I was
sure.
Yeah.
It's just numbing at a certain point. And I felt the same way about Avatar, where it's just like the story, the narrative needs to be compelling to have me buy into these visuals. So, I can't just appreciate it on that level.
And beyond even just the story, we're like, go back to Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne. Like,
well, yeah, what was their relationship?
Well, see, and here's the thing, and this is what I was you love how I did it again, where I'm like, I'm gonna start positive. This movie sucks, but like, the thing that I liked was conceptually their relationship. I liked what they were trying to do there, because I kind of thought that was an interesting thing I've never seen before, where it's like the love interests are really physical with each other, and there's all that like really playful combat stuff, because they're partners that go out on these incredible space adventures, and like that's interesting to me, and I liked that, but I don't know, it was very forced, and the charm was absent completely. Sure. It felt very much like choreography every time they were doing that stuff, and it felt like
the juxtaposition of the attitude of come on, I'll go straight, babe, let's get married. It's like, I get that this is a 50s 60s comic, but these people could not look more 2017 human beings. They're very boyish, they're very childlike, not childlike, what's the word I'm looking for?
No, I was gonna agree. I think everyone in this movie looks like it. Everyone in this movie looks like Lolita. Like Dane DeHaan's supposed to be the best like soldier in the galactic military, right?
He's just a supple young piece of ass.
He takes his shirt off. He looks like shit. He didn't even work out for this movie.
It doesn't.
He looks
very
terrible.
And I don't mean to like shit on someone's butt, but it is that's that weird thing of the disconnect between the story and what you're looking at. Is if you tell me that this dude is like,
I got 9 years in the service. It's like, oh, so you joined when you were 9.
Yeah. And then he takes off his shirt, and your genuine reaction to seeing the non-sculpt body is like,
what?
Really, dude?
It's like in Jack Reacher. Do you remember Jack Reacher when he takes off his shirt?
But see, the difference is, though, he's fucking huge. Like, he's big.
Sure.
And so it doesn't look sexy, and he's got a little bit of a belly and everything. But you're like, oh, I believe, though, that guy's strong.
Right.
I believe that he could punch hard, which is all that's really necessary. And in this, you look at him, and he's like, I'm like, oh, that's what like a 26-year-old dude who doesn't go to the gym looks like. That's just what your body does normally.
And I guess you can rationalize it as it's the suit. But that's really a big part of this, is that I could never.
What were the
2017,
rules?
Yes, exactly. What are the rules?
Yeah.
2017, it's all about universe building right now, right? And when you literally have this universe and you're promising me the city of 1,000 planets, you're gonna see these fucking aliens, and then they show me 5 aliens. I think at the top. And they don't tell me who they are, what their relation is to all the other ones. They just say that, okay, there's 4 aliens. They live in the 4 quadrants. Okay?
What?
Great.
Well, I will see you later.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hold on to.
Yeah, they're like, and this one is where all the people who kind of like, they're all the things that sort of just look like people. These are where we put all the people who only need like a couple hours of prosthetics. Over here is where we have the CGI people. We'll do that later.
We said this one is South Korea. This one was done in fucking Uzbekistan.
Again, I feel like this Venom is ultimately, this always comes from the fact that we were not engaged at all with anything that anyone felt or needed in this movie. And it's that thing of, and this is something I noticed in the story alone. So again, we're going to spoil this. The basic story is that the beach people need the pearls that the little chinchilla shits out.
Oh God, that's
right?
so funny too.
Yeah, it's super funny.
It's really funny.
The little the converter.
And I love that. I'm
Yeah,
like, yes,
yeah.
of course, make that thing shitting the most important thing in the universe. I don't care. That's great. I've literally never seen that. That's
Yeah.
great.
The face that it makes when it shits the pearls, though, it looks so
Yeah.
scared.
He's like,
he does no
He
idea
doesn't
what's
look
happening.
scared. He looks like a fucking enraptured. He's having the best shit
having
of his
great
life.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So the idea is that planet gets destroyed by accident. You think at first it's an invasion, but it's clearly an accident because the ships are crashing, and then it like fucks the whole planet up, and basically their whole species die. Some of them get away, but they don't have any more of the converter things. They need the converter things to make the pearls so that they can survive. See, even there, I was a little foggy even by the end of it.
pearls
Like,
regenerate the planet because they were able to regenerate the planet in that ship. I didn't understand how that works.
They ran a simulation.
yeah, that was
Oh,
like
was that a
Yeah, that
It
was
was
just
just a simulation. And the pearls have the most power out of anything in the universe. They by size, they create the most power out of anything
Right.
in the universe.
That's right. Okay.
And it's like, okay,
so cool.
That's cool.
Fine.
Sure.
And I love, and this is that simplicity thing of like, okay, so the bottom line here is that little animal, that little cute animal thing, that is the most important thing in the universe right now. This little thing, and we all need it, and we all want it because it can turn anything infinite. Awesome.
Let's never use it. Let's have
keep
it be
'em-
on
yeah.
her back.
Can we? Do you guys? Someone have like a Pringles can? We can just shove the alien inside and just put it on a strap on her backpack. Yeah, that works. They keep it in the little capsule thing the whole movie.
you see it twice.
And it's like that should have been a thing where we either care about that little fucker, or that's like a cute movie creature who now we love and they like it and
Right.
they don't want to let it get abused and blah blah blah. And this is always a dangerous game to play. Again, easy chair, you're looking at it done. But to fix it, we needed to know the whole movie that this thing was necessary by that there were survivors from that planet and that they needed it to fix their planet, but also that the military wanted it because it can make you incredibly rich. And like if that was just the through line and we knew that, and they're just trying to protect this thing, and they know from step one that it was the humans' fault that the planet got destroyed, that gives it an immediate driving force where you're like, oh, okay, the people who are running the ship, the space station, are bad people. We got to get the thing back to the natives or whatever. And then at least there's like, I know I've seen that, like you've seen the the white people are bad coming and destroying the environment.
Yeah,
and like,
in Avatar.
yeah, and it's fine, but it's like at least there's a sound logic to that story. I don't care if I've seen it a bunch of times.
Right.
I can at least jump on board and be like, all right, well, make me care in a new way about that thing.
Can I
Like,
talk about
I
that
don't
trope
know.
for a second? Because I feel like what it always comes back to is the main characters find value in the tribal people because their mysticism is real. Like it's always real. You know what I mean? Like they always have the power. Not that these people shouldn't be killed and have their land taken just because they like the military wants something.
Right.
No. They can actually cast spells. It's like, so they have value. I always think that that's funny.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just
right.
kind of from a Western perspective of just like, oh, we're never going to actually.
You're like,
you know,
that's what makes
They
it.
need to have a glowing orb.
That's what makes
we
you
can't.
change your mind.
What are we going to.
They got the orbs. So
Which is what, they make pelts? Fuck that. They need a glowing sphere. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the actual the
I'm
execution
getting like,
of the film.
I feel like numb. Like my brain feels smooth right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
No, it's okay because it's not a hard to follow narrative, and I think that's why we need to go through and beat for beat show you guys that we know what the movie was about, and it just wasn't.
I don't though, man.
Cooking. No, I know exactly what it was about. It was that's the issue. It's like it turns out that this military guy covered some shit up and destroyed this planet and never went to justice, and then he does. And then he gets justice, I guess, gets arrested, and then the aliens win and get away. It's so fucking simplistic. It's such a small... And that's what Valerian, I think, is supposed to be, right? Because it's like the archetypal...
Sure.
The archetypal original, like Tintin-esque in space, right? And you need to do some shit in 2017 to adapt that for a brand new audience. I'm sorry. Like this could be I didn't read the comic. We've never read the comic. This could be the exact narrative from the comic, and some shit needs to be different. I didn't have an issue with the casting of. I have an issue. Words. Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, the casting is questionable. Their performances, I don't want to blame entirely on them because I feel like the things that they're saying suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the way that they're saying them. It is the way that they're saying them, but it could also be what they're saying sucks, and the guy who's telling them to say the things that way also sucks. So I don't want to hang it too much on them.
The script is clearly translated from French.
Yes.
And there are a couple characters who are dubbed. Like the right-hand man of the I guess the guy Dane DeHaan answers to. That's not his voice. His voice is like, it's really deep and like was clearly done in ADR, and there's a couple characters like that.
I didn't notice that.
No, the stilted dialogue was right away.
Well, yeah,
I was like, this is so much a French dude. I don't think it was translated to English. I think it's a French dude writing in English.
And also there was like their
right.
version of quips, like mid-battle quips, were like, well, I had to do it. Like, what? That's not clever. Like, what are you doing? That's not a joke.
Oh, my favorite is when she's like, or humans are peaceful, and she goes, "You've clearly never met a woman." Wait a minute, what?
What's your point?
What is the implication in that line?
A fucking old French man wrote that if I've ever heard it. Like, I swear to God.
The women, they are fiery. They have the anger inside of them, and they hit me when I touch their vaginas. Yo, she is a firecracker. I want to pinch your nipples, but you'll not let me. I am Luc Besson.
Let's just Luc Besson on Reddit.
Red pilling.
Man, it was inexcusably bad every step of the way. Because even in a foggy story, even in whatever, this just needs to kind of be strung along to a couple of cool action scenes. The action scenes were like the one in the market was cool, right? The interdimensional
that was good.
And so interesting.
That's very interesting.
Just like,
right?
okay, you need to cross between dimensions, and you like there's no physicality unless you go through this object.
Right.
So everything becomes centered around that object, and of course, the object malfunctions.
Right.
And it's like, this is classic.
Stuck.
This is a good piece of physical action.
Yeah, that was
great.
awesome.
That's a great short film. Like, you could watch.
Yeah,
I agree.
That.
I agree. If it was like Valerian infiltrates the big market, I think they call it.
Big market, yeah.
There was promise there still.
Mm-hmm.
But then the fucking Millennium Falcon showed up.
Yeah,
that's very.
And
funny.
that was I
Their
said
ship
this
is
last
the
night, but it
Millennium
was so funny. It was when something is so like. I'm stuck between being like wanting to pat it on the back for what it does visually, because there are cool things in it and there's cool ideas, and it's obviously not easy to realize stuff like that. And I completely understand that. Movies are hard. But at the same rate, it's like when it's doing that and you're like, okay, cool. I don't really care about that. I don't really care about that. But it's taking shots at least on new images.
Right.
And then you see something that is the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
You would think that you would just let it pass because everything else is trying to be something new you haven't seen before. But instead, it just makes it stick out even worse.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Where
like,
you're
aliens, and they use pearls to power things.
Yeah.
And here is the X-Wing.
And but it's also like, because maybe it looked like that in maybe the comic influence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, that seems like a thing that George Lucas would steal. But
also that shot of that ship is like the shot from The Force Awakens, like from the trail, the way it dips down. That was what I was like, I've definitely seen that.
It's the shape of the ship and the way the camera is moving around it. Yeah, of course. But I don't know, man. Like, I was just so mad. I was so mad. I was watching it angrily. I was like, how is it allowed to be this stupid?
Yeah.
How did anyone let this happen? Especially like it blows. It's the same thing of Batman vs Superman or any of these ones where it was just historically or indisputably bad. Suicide Squad, where even people who making the movie have come around and been like, yeah, sorry. Mm-hmm. It's like, where's the excuse when there's that much money? You would think that would, when you put that much money on it, they'd have like mega attention on, is this good? Is this connecting? Is this the right emotional thing that we're trying to do? But it seems like somehow that it goes the other way around. I don't know. I guess because there's bigger fish to fry when it's that big.
It's politics. You have somebody like Luc Besson who has 90s cred, right? They market it with that, like the legendary director of Leon the Professional and The Fifth Element. They have both on there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you're really clearly trying to market from the 90s, right? That's the hot new thing right now. Everybody wants the cool. And also, it's the politics of filmmaking that is just so frustrating, where it's like you can't get a $40 million film off the ground from a new director, but somebody's willing to give Luc Besson.
So I believe everybody's still got good movies in them.
I think Besson. No, I think he does.
No,
his sensibilities are just very old. He thinks like the fucking early 90s. The way he writes female characters is like the early 90s.
If he didn't,
he never made good movies.
If he didn't write this movie, if this movie was a better written movie, I think I would have liked it. Like, do you know that? So I think that it's because that's
Right.
not directing, that's writing. That's him coming up with what he thinks the story's supposed to be. I don't know. I could see myself giving it the pass.
No, I don't trust him as a filmmaker. There's not been a single Luc Besson film that I like. I think that he's exactly what like he became famous for in France, this idea called cinema du look, which puts style over substance. And that's all his films are. Like, there's not a single one of his films that has any real characters you can connect to. Not The Fifth Element, not a little bit in The Professional, but not really. He's just not, he's like not interested in that.
Do you know what the budget for this film was?
Oh,
200 something.
$209.2 million. Do you know how much it made opening weekend? $17 million.
It's bombing?
Is that right now, as of Sunday?
As of Sunday, $17 million. Of course it's bombing, Nick. Of course it's bombing.
I only say that because when we were in the theater, I thought that like the whole theater was on board. Like I was openly laughing. I was like, this is a big piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, to Dom.
Yeah.
And then when Rihanna showed up, people started fucking applauding, and I was like,
but you know what?
Oh,
It's cool.
fuck.
Rihanna's part was cool. But it's just like, why is this here? Is the real question.
Yeah, I couldn't get over I could not enjoy that part of the movie because it was so fucking gross. It was like you just stuck a Rihanna song in the middle of this to get people to come. Like,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
not even a Rihanna song. Like you just put Rihanna in this movie. And for
She's
what it's
also
worth,
on the posters, front and center.
her
and she's in it for
performance,
10 minutes.
For what it's worth, was probably the best performance in the movie.
Yeah, she's great.
Like even her
Her
regular
voice.
No, dude.
What do you mean? Her performance
She's in
when
it.
she's
Yeah.
Bubble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that like dance. Okay, that's
No,
what
her
you
dance,
mean.
but even when she's
whatever.
and it's her face and she's acting and she's saying lines back to Dane DeHaan when she first gets off the stage and stuff.
Right,
she was
right.
the most natural, normal,
Sure.
good performance in the whole
And you know
fucking
what? When she
flick.
shows up, she is an injection of the new thing that I needed to make this more interesting. Where it's like, oh, he has some counterplay with somebody for now, who's
Right,
not, or
but-
finally,
but
and then
then-
she's gone in 10 minutes. Then they kill her. She just falls and then is dead.
She's literally like, oh, I died for some reason, and
She does. She says, I must have gotten cut in that fight. You don't see it. You don't
At
see
all.
anything like that of her getting injured. It's like, oh, well, we can't. Rihanna, her schedule doesn't really work out with this, so we're going to have to put her. And it's literally in a garbage compactor.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
And they do. I thought it was like a little reference where she sticks her finger up out of the trash and then turns it around and goes, I'm right here. And it's like, okay, so
that
it's like
little
the
fucking.
yeah, the thing from Star Wars
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
There's a couple references. There's that in the bit where he's talking to Onkar Plot, the dude from fucking
Yeah.
Star Wars. The
Literally, it's
I guess like Fat Junker is like a science fiction trope though, like an alien.
But we can be better than that now. 'cause
You're
now
right.
Now we know that. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
agree.
like.
Yeah.
But he's holding the phone up to his head and he goes, I will find you, Valerian, and I will kill you. And he goes, good luck, which is Luc Besson wrote Taken. And that's the line from Taken. I will find you and I will kill you. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Like, that's not that good.
I didn't register that though, because I think there's also maybe just to play devil's advocate, that's just like
A fucking line.
sentence.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Luc Besson thinks that is such a fucking line. That's a thing. And it's like, I guess there's a lot of people like Taken.
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
included.
different.
I dig
But
Taken.
that's different. That's a
but
different-
it's not that like memorable. It's not yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. It's like it's just a thing that a guy said.
And also to go back to the every female character in this movie. I was so aware of him kind of making every mistake along the way.
Oh,
with
yeah.
every girl in the movie. And it was making me feel weird. Even with what the fuck was her name? We know he was
Laureline, yeah.
Yeah,
Laureline.
Laureline.
But
Yeah,
they say it like French. Laureline. Whatever.
Laureline?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So Laureline, even with her, it was like she was supposed to be his partner, and she's like, "Oh, I'm the kick-ass girl," but her entire existence was like around
Him. Right. Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And he wants to marry her, but she doesn't want to. And why? But my reaction to what he wants to marry her is why, and she doesn't want to is why. Could you tell me who they were? Could you like if I had to ask you what did Valerian believe?
I don't know.
Like
all we know about him is he's like, that's my thing. I fuck my coworkers. He's like, I fuck all my
Oh
coworkers.
yeah, it's like I love sexual harassment.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shit. Well, the thing about him is that he has these couple lines throughout the movie that he says that are supposed to give us insight into his character that are the that are the exact opposite of everything that he's done before. Like there's the part where she wants to hand over the converter to the tribesmen, right?
Yeah.
And she's handing them over and he goes, whoa, hang on. We can't break regulations. I'm a by the book soldier.
But this is after his speech. He gives a monologue. They're circling around the bad guy being like, you're just a piece of shit who just wants the thing to be a boob. And then he goes, but actually, I think maybe he had a point. So, like, maybe we should.
We should give this to the government. But it's like it's also after you broke regulations 3 or 4 times. You disobeyed a direct order to go into the direct zone.
Right, and
you almost started a fucking war with this enemy faction by killing their emperor. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's so, and the line too is like the most. Again, he's like, "What can I say, Laureline? I'm a soldier. I play by the rules."
Yeah,
Like,
he
what the
literally
fuck?
said, like, he actually says that.
I just have a problem with literally the way this script is written. The line that made me laugh like too loud was when Cara Delevingne is like, "That planet was inhabited and you knew it," and it does an immediate flashback to the area going, "Sir, that planet's inhabited."
And like
I
a
know
joke. Like an actual gag, but it's
But
serious.
it wasn't meant to be funny.
There's a whole lot of
laughed,
I'd
yeah.
say about 17 minutes of this movie is going back and showing us shit we've already seen.
Yep.
Like
Oh,
literally
yeah.
shit we actively saw. Like when you
we watched in
replay
the
the
beginning.
shots that we watched at the beginning of the movie, you're fucking that up. That's not.
I think that it was like whoever edited the movie trying to remind himself, like, what the just like,
What did we
"Whoa,
do?"
What did
All
we
right.
do?
I could see them thinking about the audience of like having just seen 90 minutes of pure eye fucking. It's like, oh, maybe they need to. Oh, there's narrative. Hang on, there's
And then
narrative.
back to the eye fucking and the visual splendor. Who gave a fuck?
But it's not. It's candy, man. But that's what I mean.
It wasn't candy though. It got to a point, but it wasn't even. It didn't even get to a point where it was like too much candy. Wow, this is too many colors and too interesting. Like
Not that it's too interesting. Is that like I'm sick of this? It's like overstimulation at a certain point.
It was more with the point I'm getting at is that even if every shot till the bitter end was pretty to look at, there got to a point where I was literally not looking at the screen.
Yeah.
I was looking at my feet because I was so bored and annoyed at the movie. I asked Tim, I leaned over to Tim, probably there's maybe 45 minutes left of the movie, maybe 40 minutes, half hour.
Like, do you want to leave?
And I literally said, do you want to just go? I'm fine. I'm ready to go.
I need to see the post credits.
The movie is candy, but it's like you have a bowl of candy and the top is like fucking Three Musketeers and Kit Kats and Snickers, all this good stuff, and then you get to the middle and you're like, there's just paydays. It's just the rest of this shit. It's just payday. I don't want to eat paydays for this long.
I think it's more like someone's giving you a massage and they're like getting really intense with it and they haven't used any oil and you're not really into the massage, and at the end they're just like fucking kneading you, and it's like, this would feel great if I wanted this, but you haven't sold me on it yet.
Yeah,
like
you're
there's
right.
no oil, there's no candles.
You're right, and it's me coming down to I'm not a person who, when a visual is cool, it's cool. You know, pictures are neat, right?
Right.
I like pictures.
I hear they say 1,000 words.
I like art. I like paintings. They're pretty rad. You can look at something and say pretty.
Van Gogh.
In a movie,
Big fan.
I am actively unimpressed if your movie is only fun to look at. Like, you can find
Right,
people
for any
who are
price.
good writers. Like, I don't know. It
But
didn't
when
have to
it's
be
sealed off, like they're fucking. That's the part that's sealed off, right? That's the part
Sure.
that no new money can invest in because he wrote it,
Because he wanted
and he
to do it.
directed it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
his thing.
You're right.
That's the part that you can't change with money.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is invest the rest of the money.
What you have to do is invest some money.
Yeah, you just invest the rest of the money in visuals because it's. But we can't go out and pay someone for rewrites because fucking Luc Besson is.
I think, and I'm maybe realizing
Also a
that's too.
director.
That's why I feel aggressive, man. I don't know if it's come across, but I like really hated it. It really bothered me. It upset me. It upset me that someone was allowed to spend that much money on something that's so bad, beginning to end bad, like scene to scene bad. It's the thing we talked about with Spider-Man, where it's like you can somehow see Batman vs Superman is another great example, where scene to scene you could maybe take a scene and think that was fine as its own thing, as a scene. You could just understand on set why they didn't realize what they were doing until it was all together. But with this, it's like no. Moments are bad. Like people
Absolutely.
are bad in a 1 second, and you didn't think to fix that, or did he just pick the weird takes? Did he pick like the first takes or something? Like,
I don't know.
Like he's directed English language films before and written English language films before, so I'm confused why this ended up the way it did and like how stilted and strange it is. Also, just to go back to the point of just the underlying sexism of the film, the title, it's called Valerian. I went back, the comic books are called Valerian and Laureline. Why did they just drop her? Why did they drop her name? But I guess maybe like colloquially people call Valerian. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the comic. I've never read it before. I don't know
maybe
anything.
it is just called
But
Valerian.
like maybe there's something I don't know. But that seems very strange, especially considering that she's just as much of the main character of this film as he is.
Well, it was
She is.
honestly, and I both of them I'm weird on. I came in with a bias on both of them as actors because I don't
Of course, yeah.
particularly like either of them. But when he was gone and it was her trying to find him, I was like, I hope this is the rest of the movie because I already liked her more. She was at least pulling off her bad lines better than he was. Right? That's how I felt. And they had little moments. They had little things that were interesting to me, like in their dynamic. I liked Gary Tremarchi pointed it out too, and it was when he gets ejected out of the wrong door, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, I meant 18."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's okay. Everybody makes mistakes." And it's so weirdly they just sort of brush over, and I'm like, "That's cute."
Like they do this all the time.
Yeah.
But there's no consistency.
Yeah,
where did it go?
Where was
It's
that
gone.
in the rest of the movie?
God, there's a good movie here. There is. And I guess every movie has that, right? Every movie has a good movie inside of it. But I almost feel like maybe with a recut, this could be more fun. Just maybe remove the flashbacks. Maybe remove a little bit of the fuzz.
It would be the most it would be an extensive recut.
You would take 30 minutes off of it because it's 2 hours and 16 minutes. There's no need for it to be that long.
Be 100.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
I would cut every time it was going back to the military guys, the computer, I'm like, we need to see none of this. They were saying stuff that we know.
It got to the second time it cut to their stupid fucking faces around in the sci-fi white room. And I was like, I'm done. I hate this. I don't care. I don't care about you. I don't know who you are. They kept hinting that they had was he like her dad? It felt like there was a thing between Valerian and Laureline and
Well, I had this. The first time I saw them, the first marketing I saw of this, my first instinct was, oh, they're brother and sister.
yes. I remember that. Yeah, I felt the same way.
I just thought, for whatever reason, that's the way it clicked with me, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then when they weren't, I'm just like, I don't really buy it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you must have you found that out quick.
He's just like he's very childlike and Dane DeHaaning it up, and he's just doing the thing.
He's one of those guys who I'm aware of, and I know a lot of people like him. And I mean, I saw Place Beyond the Pines. I think he was good in that because he was just like a kid. He was just like some
forget that
moody
he's in that movie.
kid.
He was great in that.
I like that movie, but he's one of those dudes who I'm watching acting. Same thing with her, where I'm looking at their face, and I know that there's meditation behind it, and you're focused on the way that it's coming across as you're saying it, and it's like that always reads weird to me. I felt that way when he was in Spider-Man as well, and it was like, wow, man, you're like acting.
I didn't realize. I thought that they gave him pointy ears for Spider-Man. No, he just he just looks like an evil boy.
An evil boy. Yeah, he does look like
cast
Link.
Zelda. That's the guy.
Yeah, you're right though. That he would
And
be
says
good.
nothing.
Just
he
vote,
says no things.
Chip.
Isn't that the question of the day? Yeah. What was I getting at there?
Get it. When he does that thing where his sinuses are always stuffed up for some reason.
Yeah, he's got like Nicolas Cage voice. He was like a little Nicolas Cage.
I think that, look, I understand that this is how young people talk, and I do it as well. We need to not have tolerance for vocal fry in actors. Because it's that kind of baseline thing.
Yeah.
Like there's a woman who approaches the general in this and goes, sir, and it just sounds like she's 17 and someone's niece.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And
I noticed that. Yeah.
Also, just inside, this is not vocal fry, but like someone's uncle was playing the corporal because he would call and be like,
wait, who was? Hold on a
Valeri,
second.
you have to, and he's like, you see his eyes darting, reading the teleprompter. He's like, Valerian, you have to report to the 17th quadrant of the global globe of vision.
Yeah, he had no authority in his voice whatsoever.
All right, Valerian, if you don't want to, that's fine too. All right. What'd you have for lunch? That looks good.
I'm trying to look at who that was.
I don't want to. Never mind.
I had a Reuben. It was great. I got it from that deli down on 4th Street. Yummy.
The Planet 4th Street.
Interesting. That guy is like a soundtrack guy on movies.
Really?
So you weren't far off.
Yeah, just
Wasn't-
some dude.
Shouldn't have been in front of the camera, probably.
Yep.
But there was one woman in like the third row from the front who was fucking loving this movie. There was like, I can't
That's
remember.
Dane DeHaan's mom.
She just said, "There's my sweetie. Oh, he's great. I love him. Yeah. There's my evil boy." But I don't remember what the joke was. But this woman was fucking losing it. She thought it was she couldn't believe that Cara Delevingne had a smart comment. It was just great.
Yeah.
But I think even what does this movie have on Rotten Tomatoes?
55.
Oh, okay. So it was positive because there were people walking out of the theater. I heard them saying like, "Yeah, it was just really what a good time." And I was like, "How did you have a good
But
time?"
there's plenty of people who just like dumb shit like that. They just want the visual acumen, and that's fine.
But the visual acumen was like absent for a lot of it. I didn't think it was exciting and
because you see a lot of movies, dude. Because we see a lot of content and material and stuff, and we can recognize stuff as trite. Imagine if you were seeing that for the first time. All of that. You'd seen none of that before. Your dick would be in fucking
Space.
Timbuktu. It would be
up in
very far away.
Timbuktu.
hitting the just city of 1,000 planets.
Into the dead zone.
What the hell's that?
And a new species showed up.
Dick? Is that a really skinny, somehow thousands of miles long dick?
All right, let it in.
It immediately fills the space, crushes everyone like Akira.
I was thinking like Snake. Like
the games.
I'm inclined to agree with Tim. I don't know though, because I'm a guy, like, I like a lot of like visually heavy films. Like, I think that like the visuals are probably the most important part of a film for me. And even this, I was like, I'm fucking done with it.
Yeah, there's plenty of like The Holy Mountain. That's a nonsense film that's entirely all about the
Just
visuals. And it's like, wow,
so
it's a great
let's
looking
go
movie.
into intention again, or intent rather. Like, it's intention, right? Same word, it's whatever. I think the reason the visual stuff also, maybe again, I'm realizing this now, it's annoying or it feels offensive because the movie also thinks that it's being narratively engaging.
Yes.
So
That's it.
you know that it thinks it is. So then you're completely disconnecting. But if I was in this and I was like, this is fucking stupid, but he's zapping and happy, and again, it's like, but those things work where it's like it's just visual. Just get on board for the visuals. That works when the story requires very little of you, and it's not you don't, and you know what's happening.
Right.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, if this is just going to be a visual road trip across America, fine, but just tell me why they're going across this country. Let me know what the end point is. And with this, it was like, if they'd said to me, if this was like, we've stolen the...
In reference to The Space Between Us, right? About the cross-country trip across America?
Yeah, same thing, right? Like, just tell me
You should
what's
have just
up.
said yes.
No, I wasn't.
Whatever.
I swear to God, I wasn't.
But yeah,
actually thinking
okay,
about
so
that.
like something like a cross-country trip where it's like, why? Why does any of this
Why are
matter?
we doing
I don't
this?
care.
Just tell me what the end point is. Tell me why it's important, and then we'll get on board, and I won't give a fuck about most of it. Like, this was if you said this is the last converter in the universe, it's this precious creature. We've stolen it from the galactic United States military. Mm-hmm. We need to get it to the galactic beach Native Americans.
Yes.
Like, I'd be like, fine, okay, that's a straight line I can follow. Sure, there's Rihanna dancing. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing too, is like in a movie like this, I wanted Rihanna dancing while the bad guys are about to catch up with him.
Right.
And he doesn't know, but we know, and it's like they're about to come knocking down the door, but we don't know, and we're just watching this fun thing, and then intercut the dance with the...
Right.
You know, I don't know.
Because otherwise
like,
it's just like
otherwise we're just fucking hanging out. Like...
And there's about 6 reaction shots of him going, oh, it's like boner. It's like the gif of Vince McMahon where he's like,
Pretty good.
just cuts back, he's fucking yanking it, just like, ripping his shit off.
Rihanna is like a missed opportunity in the screenplay for him to become smitten with somebody, and then Laurel, you know what, like there could be there could have been conflict there, and then he could have made the choice.
Yeah,
and proved
she's
to
an
her.
injection of life about an hour and 45 minutes into the movie.
Which
and
is
it's like
goofy.
this should have happened 50 minutes earlier, and she should have stuck around for longer because she's great. I love her interplay. with him.
Even that the character that is a shapeshifter, but they're a shapeshifter that can like be the suit around you,
right?
But is also the thing. Like, that's neat. That would have been a really rad device the whole movie,
right?
If the whole movie there was this. I mean, I'm a sucker for like shapeshifter things where you don't know if the person's actually the person when you're watching them, or if
right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But nah. That's just like, hey, you look at my butthole, and then also okay. Can we get into that place? Mm-hmm. I'm dead.
That was the line.
Look at my butthole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at my
Rihanna
butthole.
says that. Just, hey there, big boy. Look at my butthole.
Yeah, look at my butthole.
I mean, we basically. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, but
like, why
that
is she
dance.
doing that voice?
Dude, that dance. I was like, there's a lot of pussy shots in this children's movie.
Oh, come on. This was hardly a children's movie.
I don't. I mean, it
What's
was.
this rated? Is this rated PG?
It's PG-13.
It's PG-13. It wasn't that violent. The shot where he blows that guy's head up, I went, Jesus Christ! Because
There's
I
just
just
a couple things.
wasn't expecting.
I
it.
love. Okay, so there's a thing about sci-fi that I really love when there's so much life, right? And we were talking about this, where you're in space, where there's literally trillions and trillions of creatures on this, like, just one spaceship. Life is so cheap and unimportant. I love the idea of things just getting eaten and dying and whatever, and being born at all times, just because it's so fucking expansive. Like, life is so plentiful that it's meaningless. And I've always loved that about, like, space punk kind of things, but it never quite reads in this movie as not being,
Mean.
I guess, mean. Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
what it is. Because, like, I really don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's
she,
just,
like, shoots
there's like
the
an
things-
attitude to it that I don't
She
like.
shoots their wing. Yeah, it's an attitude. It's that thing of like, it's almost like I want to put it in like the 70s or the 80s, like this nastiness to creatures kind of
It's
mentality.
like a cop thing, you know what I mean? It's like, just because you guys have authority, you're being dicks to everybody to accomplish your goals. It's like, it's a very pro-cop, like, man on a mission attitude that I think is negative.
Yeah,
I think there's no drawbacks to what they're doing.
And there's like even down to like when she's like kicking the lizard rats
Yeah.
like out of the way and
Yeah.
like being mean to it, and it's just like, sorry. You remember that part where the
Yeah.
lizard rat looks at the screen and says, "Hi, I'm in a Luc Besson film.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm so sorry about
Played
it.
by Gilbert Gottfried.
What you kicking me for?
if there was, that would have been a hour and 45-minute in addition. I would have loved. It just
Sure.
suddenly Gilbert Gottfried's rat lizard showed up.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
I know where you gotta go.
I thought you were going to say, like, Rihanna's voice is dubbed by Gilbert Gottfried.
Man.
No,
I can turn in any shape or powers.
no. After Rihanna dies, the rat lizard shows up and he shakes his pussy around.
Yeah.
And Blair's like,
These same shots of him watching. Yeah,
We're going to do final thoughts, so you had a critic, and then I'm going to.
it makes me sad that it's sad no matter what. So I'm that kind of person who, like, I get really angry and I feel unforgiving. Like I'm angrier about this movie than I have been about a lot of movies, because there's something about it that feels so inherently unfair that it got to get made, and that this fucker got to put that much money into this stupid thing based on a thing that very few people even know about.
Sure.
And that's the thing that gets $200+ million, and then it sucks, and he's gonna make another one.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
not another Valerian. but,
probably not.
Not another Valerian.
You don't
but
recover from a bomb like this. This might be the
Maybe-
last Luc Besson film we see for a long
maybe
time.
not. But
Internationally, though.
But he's still gonna
That's
get.
true.
He's still
It might
gonna
kill in
get
China.
to make
Yeah.
more movie. Like, you know, and it's just frustrating to me. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's a stupid movie. It's a soulless.
like, this
it's a
didn't make
soulless,
back-
dumb movie.
10% of its budget on opening weekend. That's atrocious. That's
Yeah.
really bad.
It's 17
I-
million.
like-
But that's in the middle of summer.
But, like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, that is career worrying for me for Luc Besson. I would be like very
Do you
worried.
know what? And I have sympathy. Like, I hear that, and there's part of me that goes, you know, I was watching a talk with Jon Favreau talking about Cowboys and Aliens, and I don't even remember that movie, but it makes me want to go back and watch the movie again.
I like that movie.
But he really loved the movie, and he really believed he was making something that he thought was fun and engaging and cool. And he was devastated when he found out that it was getting bad reviews and that it didn't perform well. And this was like after Iron Man too, so it was like he was coming off the highest of his highs.
Yeah.
He made this movie he thought was dope, and everybody was like, meh, meh. And then how you have Luc Besson who's coming back. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do. It's like I'm the Fifth Element guy, you know. I'm gonna make another fucking cool sci-fi world. Let's do it. There's this comic I love. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna realize it. Oh, they gave me $200 million. This is gonna be awesome. And then it's fucking bad or it bombs. Like,
Sure.
I can feel sympathy there, because you know that it was not for lack of passion. I know that he cared. I'm not gonna say that he just was like jacking off in his trailer and then walked on to set and said, yes, say this, say I wanted to drive the ship, so that's
Right.
why we crashed.
But we're also talking about he's coming off of Lucy from 2014,
Which Lucy
has
did well.
1,000% profit margin. It made $450 million
Yeah, man.
on a $45 million budget.
But that's fine. Then keep his feet on the ground. Keep it with that. It's shoot.
yeah, give him $40 million and do like a subdued action film. That's
Yeah.
what you do better. Leon the Professional is a better movie than The Fifth Element. But
Yeah.
there's a part of this, but I love like the flippant sci-fi of it. Like when they're
Yeah,
at the big
same.
market and they're like, put on your goggles because I love that
Me
silly,
too. Me too.
overly commercial. Like when space is commercialized, that's
Yeah.
so
Yes.
funny. That's so absurd, and there's very little of it in this. Like
Only what we can carry, honey.
exactly. There's like a bunch of shots of that guy that also didn't
I
need to
know.
be there. When he like gets the stuff knocked out of his hand, he goes, "Well." It's like he's gonna say another line and it cuts away.
Yeah, dude. It just so point being, I have sympathy, of course. I always do. Movies are hard. If you want to make something you love, I appreciate your efforts. But boy, howdy, is this unforgivably terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
Nick, what are your final thoughts?
It's not even that. Like, it's not even that it's bad. It's just nothing. It's just
empty.
nothing.
There's
It's
a soul, like, oh my god, man, when the quote unquote climactic fight started after we'd had a lecture and we resolved the problem with the aliens, it occurred to me, I got excited for a second. I was like, please just tell me the climax of this is this, that they're finally arguing with each other. They're calling out the general or whatever who was. Are we done? And then it
those fucking robots.
cuts to those robots
Those
again. I
fucking robots.
literally out loud went like, oh, fucking right. Of course, I
Yep.
forgot.
We have these,
And then we had to
need to use them.
And then we had to do that fight. Then we had to have the fight with the robots for zero reason.
No consequence to it. We already have the guy. We just had people. We had to have people die. We had to do more shooty, blasty shit.
I was exhausted. I
It's
was
true. It's
I was like
exhausting.
not watching.
Exhausting is a good word to describe the movie. It's just not
I've like
pure labor.
when I think about the movie, I get tired and I have to go like
Somewhere else in
I
your
have
mind.
to just go lay down outside.
Yeah.
I have to.
Look at the sun for a little while.
Yeah, I would rather look at the sun than watch this movie again. I would rather
rather go
for
watch
2
The Mummy
hours.
again than I would have rather seen The Mummy twice than seen this.
I would rather go look at my son than look at this, watch this movie. My bitch of an ex-wife took him away. I need to go to Oklahoma and watch him through his window.
I miss that kid.
Jesus Christ.
Poor son.
All right, maybe I wouldn't watch The Mummy again, but I would have liked to have watched.
I'd rather do nothing. I'd rather sit still.
What's the movie phone? What puts clips on YouTube? You know, where it's like
Oh yeah, like Moby or whatever.
Movie clips.
movie clips.
Movie
Yeah,
clips.
I would watch 3 of them.
I would,
That's what you can do. As a
Yeah,
matter
this
of
movie's
fact,
gonna have some great gifts.
Yeah.
Really cool gifts in this
it's a
movie.
gift movie. I would watch Big Market again. I think I would watch that part.
me too. I would go. Yeah, and I've said this about a bunch of. There's a lot of movies like that where it's like I don't know if I'll ever watch this whole movie again, but I'll go on YouTube and search. Bridge fight.
And I love the way he's dressed. He looks like Leo and Romeo plus Juliet. He's got like the very 90s. He's got the open button-up
yeah.
shirt with the tight tank top underneath. I'm like, I love this. This is like the scumbag Ace Ventura outfit. It's fucking fantastic.
Again, that would be cool with the charm of a better written character
Absolutely.
and a better performance.
It falls
you
apart.
know?
It unfortunately falls apart. And I guess that would be my final thoughts is that this has a lot of promise. It does not deliver on what it promises at the beginning. The last hour is borderline an unwatchable movie. It's very frustrating. It's not unwatchable. If you find value, I don't judge you. It's just extremely, it's a frustrating watch.
It was,
and it's very
it was
long
unwatchable
for a frustrating
me
watch.
at the end. It was unwatchable for me. I was ready to go home.
Fair enough. You just need this movie proves to me that style over substance doesn't work at a certain extent. You need at least, it's like fucking balancing a house on a cracker. You like need at least something at the fucking base to make me appreciate all the shit on top of it, or else it's just gonna break my cracker.
You built the house. The house is done. You're like, all right, now we gotta get on that cracker. Are you sure that you're a real foreman? This is
Yes, put it on an angle. Yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Nick,
yeah. It's nothing. That's what I said. I'd rather look at
yeah.
the sun. I'd rather stare at the sun for 2 hours.
I would love to genuinely, if something about this engaged you, No, rather, this isn't what I know. Because here's what I know.
Let me know
I know
your
there's-
address so I can hire someone to come and kill you, to
Get you-
remove you from
we
the
don't
gene
want
pool.
you. We don't need you.
We
in the
can't
circle.
have
no,
you.
No. What I mean is, so I can understand someone watching this and not caring that the love story and the theme, which was what. I can understand you looking past that and just being like, yeah, well, whatever. It was in space and they had cool guns and fine. So I understand you. But if you have a genuine connection to the characters or the story of the beach people, you need to tell me why. I need to know. I need to feel, because I feel fucking lost in space with some of the people who were connecting emotionally to this movie.
Yep.
Sorry.
Excellent.
I'm sorry. I feel fucking, I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling this way about anything, let alone a movie.
So everyone flood Dom's Twitter with racist, angry memes. Read the minute you finish listening
Dude,
to this.
French Twitter is gonna tear you apart, man.
Oh, yes.
Oh, this gay man. He does not like my movie.
Le gay man.
He has a bit of African in him. He is from Sicily. Yeah. Look at his hair and how curly it is.
Too true.
Like in Algiers. I don't know what the fuck that accent was. The Frenchman started going away.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
All right,
There's El
three-headed
Chapo in
critic.
Iran.
Yeah. Okay.
Three-headed who
Three-headed
starts?
critic. For
The
First
couple
of
minutes.
I
didn't
Like
that
it
was
still
going. Is that good?
first couple
that's
minutes.
it.
I didn't like that it was still going.
oh, I guess they're gonna show the whole movie.
Excuse me. Oh man, this is still going. I gotta go talk to the projectionist. Hey man, there's like a movie on the screen.
won't stop.
I won't keep. It's still going. It's been like 40 minutes.
I would really like it if we were done.
Yeah, sure. We'll check it out.
Oh, oops. Sorry. No, yeah. We're definitely not supposed to keep showing that.
No.
Nobody told me I was playing Valerian.
Whoa.
That was Luc Besson's direct order, actually. You know, like they'll send like projection requirements around with certain movies, like make sure that it's framed in the
Do not show.
And this was like, yeah, he sent around like, just give it like 6 minutes and then stop. Stupid.
You interview Luc Besson, he's like, so I just watched Valerian. He's like, oh my God, are you okay?
All right, guys, this has been Reasonable Beef. Hey, if you like this, please go to www.patreon.com/reasonablebeef and give what you can. $5 give you access to Bonus Beef, which is our month-end podcast where we talk about odds and ends and everything we missed in our life and times and blah, 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 blah. Does anybody have any plugs? Anything cool happening? If you're a producer, buy Dom's script. Please.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really.
If anyone is in the Maryland, Philly, DC area for the... I don't even know. I can't plug these shows.
Why not?
August 12th will be at Autobar. If you're like in the tri-state area, come check it out. And Atomic Books the next week. So if you want to see some comedy, try to hunt me down on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and you can get those dates.
Exactly. It's at Nik Oldershaw.
At Nik Oldershaw.
And if anybody wants to buy a bunch of Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis games, please shoot me a DM on Twitter. I am selling a large amount of them.
Anybody wants to buy a sandwich?
Hey, fam. I made 6 or 7 sandwiches. I can ship them.
I mean,
Send them over.
I know you all said you were just gonna go to Subway, but I made these at home.
You just made me really sad.
They're cheaper.
No, I want to buy it.
You don't
No,
gotta
please let me
spend-
buy your sandwiches.
Is that-
Don't be sad. I love you.
Oh, it's just at Subway.
What's in them?
At Subway, they don't let you put Cheetos inside. I put some Cheetos inside of yours.
You know what? I bet if you opened up a bag of Cheetos and said, put these on there, I think they would go for it.
Oh, those
Yeah, but it's
dead
not,
behind the eyes
it's not
people?
on the menu. They don't know how to make it if it's not on the menu.
They don't put butter knives on their sandwiches. Every sandwich I have has 6 to 7 butter knives
butter knife.
in a lattice formation, so you don't lose any of that hot iron steel.
It's a good.
Oh, he puts it in the oven after he puts the knives on.
Yeah,
it?
no, he just toasts
a hot
It's a hot knife sandwich with Cheetos.
I like to hook my sandwich up to a car battery. Every bite is like a reawakening.
Is it a sandwich?
It's been a fun
Wait,
time.
wait, how much do these cost?
$70. I love being at the beach with my friends.
闇の中心揺さぶる目覚め始まる大地割りそそり立つ姿正義の証か伝説の巨人の力 心が切り裂く雄たけびが電光石火の一撃を呼ぶ震えるな瞳凝らせよ復活の時人よ命よ始まりを見る